How's it going, Providence family? Pastor Ryan here. I wanted to make a video update on really what the Lord has been leading us as elders of the church with regards to Boniface Christian Academy. Earlier this year, we announced our church has a desire to help equip and partner with parents in our church to disciple their children in the full-orbed paideia of the Lord. So all of life instructed in such a way to raise our children to be model citizens of the kingdom of God, including their coursework, their physical life, their spiritual life, their upbringing in the Christian faith, all of those things encompassed from a biblical Christ lordship worldview. And initially, what we had proposed to the church and kind of put out there as an idea is what if we did a 4-day a week classical Christian school run by parents, very cost affordable, in order to help parents in raising their kids in the Lord and instructing them in the ways of God in all spheres of life. And we put that out as a vision to the church. And really, by God's providence and direction, we feel like He's leading us in a new direction as far as what we're going to be offering with Boniface next year. And so I'm excited in this video to share a brief snapshot of what we're thinking and point you towards a vision meeting for any families who are interested coming up here in May. And so really, just from the front end, I want to give a snapshot of why we're moving away from the 4-day and what we're moving to with Boniface Christian Academy. And really what we're moving to, it would be a 1-day a week co-op on Thursday mornings from 9 to about 1 o'clock, so encompassing lunch in there. And the scope of what that day would include would be a chapel service mandatory for all students and parents to come to, which would include singing, preaching, prayer, as well as catechal instruction. So we would be training the children through the Baptist catechism as they came to this. So it'd be really discipleship heavy focus. So no matter what curriculum parents are using in their individual homeschools, no matter what they're doing, they can come together to receive corporate instruction and help in discipleship training as a ministry of their local church. And we really feel like that'd be a blessing to so many of our families. And then after that chapel service, what the students are going to be offered is 3 different blocks of elective courses. So we understand that all the kids who are going to come to Boniface are going to be using different homeschool curriculums, be at different stages in their homeschool. You know, one might be a first grader, one might be an 8th grader. And so in order to structure this in such a way that's fruitful and beneficial for all the different kids that are coming, we're going to offer different elective courses for students to enroll in that will be a benefit and an aid to the instruction they're already getting at home, and particularly geared to help raising young Bonifaces in our church. And so the different types of courses that will be offered, some will be more instructional based. So we will offer things like I intend to offer courses on Old Testament, New Testament introduction, basic theology courses that'll be offered particularly for some of the older students to help train them in some of those things. We're also going to have courses offered in more of the practical sciences, so like home economics, baking, sewing. These are the types of courses we look forward to offer, as well as courses in the arts. We would love to offer things in painting, illustration. We'd love to offer music courses, piano, basic music instruction, guitar, these sorts of courses to be available offered, as well as physical instruction. We'd love to have PE. We'd love to have weight training, and then particularly even sports emphasis as we're able. And really, the goal with this is kids would come, they would receive that chapel instruction all together as one big group, and then they would go into 3 different blocks throughout the morning of different electives. They're interesting to them, but also that challenge them. So we're not going to have just people run to their hobbies necessarily, but to help make them well-rounded citizens for the kingdom of God. So maybe a student is particularly not very gifted in artistic type things. We're going to want him taking artistic type courses because we want to raise well-rounded citizens who are fully ready to employ the gifts and the talents God has given them for the kingdom of God. And really with this elective-based model, we're hoping that we're not just going to help equip students in these various things they're taking courses in, but help train their loves. And particularly with all these things, this is not just going to be hobby hour or just particular skills hour, but help show them how the lordship of Christ functions over all these things. How do you bake under the glory of God? How do you create art for the glory of God? How do you learn for the glory of God? How do you train your body to be useful for the glory of God? We want to show them all those things and really pushing towards that paideia mindset in our church and in our body. Our prayer is that this will serve primarily members of our local church, but also we really believe that this will be a benefit to our community as well. And so if you're interested in this, I wanted to invite you to the upcoming meeting we are going to have for this. It's going to be on May the 3rd, which is a Wednesday night at 7 p.m. here at the church. So May the 3rd, 7 p.m. here at the church. Any families who are interested in participating in this, please, if you could come in 2 weeks, May the 3rd, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. here at the church. As well, any members of our church who have any interest in helping out. Maybe you're interested in teaching one of these courses, which again would be about 45 minutes for a 1-block course on Thursday mornings. If you're interested in helping out with that, we would love that. If you don't have school-age kids, but maybe you want to just come around the facility and help serve, that'd be wonderful. We're going to have nursery childcare needs, and maybe you're saying, well, I don't know if I want to teach, but I can play with some babies while they're doing this. That'd be a huge need. So if you're interested in any way in participating in this, if you're able to come May the 3rd, encourage you to do that. If you're not able to come, but you are interested, please reach out to us so we know. We are going to be recording that meeting as well to get that information to all who are interested. And to close on this, I want to just speak to why we're moving in this direction in a few parts. One is in God's providence. We had a ton of families who said, we love the vision of what you're trying to do. We love that you're trying to use the ministry of the church to raise kingdom warrior children. And we're all about it. We support it. But for our family, we've been homeschooling. It's working well for us. So we support what you're doing, but it's just not a good fit for our family. We heard that from a bunch of families. And we didn't hear from hardly any families that were like, this is the perfect fit for us. And so just in God's providence, we go, okay, well, for the families of our church, the model that we're proposing, is it going to serve them best? And our heart from day one is how do we come alongside and serve and better equip our families? We think we could have probably built Boniface the way we were talking about, with largely families who weren't in our church. There was a need for that sort of thing and people who are interested, but they weren't members of our local body. And ultimately, as shepherds of this flock and these people, my heart and the other elders' heart is how do we serve our people best? So that's the first thing. The second thing is just understanding providentially where the Lord has put us as far as mission effectiveness. We have a ton of military families. And for us to bring in those military families to a very particular type school model that maybe they could do for 2-3 years, but then when they move on and PCS to their next location, they're not probably going to have a Christian school model that was laid out in the way we were proposing. That doesn't equip them to educate their children all the way through to 18 years old. It might help them for a couple years, but then they're going to have to come up with something brand new when they move. Whereas this model, we're helping equip homeschool families to do something that they can take as they move on from here and really nourish their discipleship here and hopefully help them to be better equipped homeschoolers where they go. And so we think this is just a better fit for where God has placed us strategically, our church, and the mission he has for us. We're really excited about it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And I really hope that we see you for our information meeting coming up here in May in 2 weeks on May the 3rd at 7 p.m. So I really hope you would come to that. I hope you would join us in praying for this. We're excited about what the Lord will do for this. Please don't hesitate to reach out and questions, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Grace and peace, and God bless.